Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. I am Sefian FM as usual. Today we have a tactic called the OG version 1, Xavi's dominant 3-4-2-1, Barcelona's 2022-23 season. It is created by someone called FM Tactics Fanatic. There is a ton of information on the Steam Workshop, so thank you so much for that. That is excellent. Now, he is basically attempting to replicate Xavi Hernandez's tactics with Barcelona during the 22-23 season he's got, a lot of links and analysis below for how Xavi played certain players like Pedri and Gavi, how they counterpressed and controlled the ball and all of that. So take a look at everything on this page. Basically what he's trying to do, he's not trying to get a tactic that breaks the match engine. He's not trying to get something that will win every single match. It's basically his best interpretation of all the analysis that he's read and listed and how the team has been used and created this tactic to kind of mimic it. So it's got a ton of information, like I've said, so check it out. Definitely worth at least taking a look at. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm sort of getting to the end of tactics. Obviously, FM24 is coming out in, at least the beta is coming out in a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So tactic-wise, I'm kind of getting to the end of the tactics that I found that look interesting enough to try. So what I'm going to do is tactics like this that are geared for certain teams, I'm going to do our normal of Tottenham, Wolves, and Newcastle, and I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to run these three teams through this tactic. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change over, and next time or thereabouts, I'm going to take Barcelona and try it with this tactic and see how they do. That basically gives me an idea. Does it work with every team that we use this tactic for, or is it specific for a specific team? In this case, Barcelona. We've got some that are for Tottenham, which is great for us. You'll see that in a couple of days. But there's others, like a lot of Liverpool tactics, a lot of Man City tactics. I'm going to try with Liverpool and Man City to see how well they do. So right now we're going to try this tactic with Tottenham, Wolves, and Newcastle, and then next time or thereabouts we're going to try it with Barcelona and see kind of the comparison between the two. But this tactic, this Xavi's 3-2-4-1 Barcelona 22-23, starts out with a sweeper keeper in attack, ball playing defenders all throughout the center back line, one in cover. You've got a defensive winger in support, a deep lying playmaker in support, a DM in defend, and then another defensive winger in support. In front of them is an attacking midfielder in attack and another one in support. And in front, a complete forward in attack instead of an advanced forward as usual. It is a balanced mentality, in possession, attacking with his wide. Approach play is pass into space, focus down the left and the right, play out of defense. Passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly higher, mix crosses and work the ball into the box. In transition, counterpress, hold shape this time around and take short kicks. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, and invite crosses. The invite crosses is something that I haven't seen much before. It's usually not the greatest of ideas from what I've seen, but we will see how it does now. As our three teams, we look at the table, and as you can see, it didn't do very well for them whatsoever. Newcastle, in fifth place with 66 points is pretty nice. Again, 92 points for Liverpool. Manchester United all the way down to 76. Man City was 72. So it is one heck of a season for everyone. A very tough season for everyone but Liverpool, apparently. But Newcastle doing very well. Tottenham, awful with 42 points. And Wolves even worse with 31. So clearly this didn't work for two of our teams, but Newcastle it did. And we can see there's not a lot of red, which is great. A fantastic set of runs with some full points, some partial points. But they do drop out against Blackburn, 1-1 in penalties in the Carabao Cup 4th round. FA Cup 3rd round, FA Cup 4th round, 0-7 to Liverpool. Liverpool absolutely dominant this time around. But again, not a lot of losses, enough to kind of keep you down in the table, but still not a bad run or set of runs for Newcastle. Tottenham and Wolves will be a much different story. You do have a couple of wins here and there. Champions League are actually doing okay. Carabao Cup 3rd round, you're out against Liverpool 3-4. You got 3 on them though. FA Cup all the way down. Champions League are continuing on up until, well, I guess right here, Real Madrid. 1-3 away from home loss and a 3-3 draw at home. But then out in the FA Cup quarterfinals right after against Bournemouth. And just, wow, an awful April. Wolves, Carabao Cup 2nd round against Newcastle loss. You've got a loss after loss after loss. FA Cup 3rd round against Nottingham Forest. Absolutely awful. Transfers. Newcastle's transfers, outs as usual. Not really anyone. Gillespie for 400k, not bringing in much. But they do bring in the likes of Bettinelli from Chelsea, Semedo, Weston, Ugarte from Sporting for 52 million. Holy cow. And then Liam Morrison from Bayern too. Tottenham selling on Hugo Lloris for 4.7, bringing in Macedo, Almada, and Van de Beek. Not spending a whole lot of money though. Wolves not selling on too many people, up to 1.4 for Lembikisa, but bringing in Chiquinho and Vesa from Levante, I guess spending a little money. Squad-wise, I'm going to pare this down a little. I don't need to go over everything, but I mean, you can see the general squad here, but 33 goals for Callum Wilson this time around. Isaac, I don't know what he's doing. 30 plus 9 appearances, so something happened. But 11 goals for Almiron and Jolinton, not too bad. Assists-wise, not the greatest, kind of higher side of average. You do have a bunch of players in green, which is nice to see. Ugarte was 718. Nice pickup right there. Tottenham not doing too bad. Kulusevski up there in the tops, but Kane was only 16 goals. Really an awful job by Tottenham. Only 16 for Kane, 12 for Kulusevski. Assist-wise, nobody in the top, any double digits at all. You got a couple players in green, 740 for Austin, who's only had 1 appearance, but even 710s. I mean, this is just an awful tactic for this team. And I'm not expecting much better for Wolves. Newcastle, 16 goals. Oh, I forget this, of course. 11 goals for Cunha, though. Not great over round. You've got 1 player in the green, and they're not even at the club. Nunez was 699. Newcastle's data hub looks a bit different from the other two, although they're still kind of paring down of Newcastle's. You could say generally okay defensively. You've got a lot of fouls per game. Then good in attack. You've got some good attacking numbers. If we look at Tottenham's, though, weak defensively, fairly poor in attack. The numbers just dwindle like crazy. And then even worse for Wolves. Plenty of problems defensively and very weak in attack. It just didn't work for these two teams all that well. Premier League stats, not really good overall, as you'd expect. I mean, most goals, Liverpool with 92, kind of down from their usual, but 78 for Newcastle. Tottenham with some shots, but that's about it. This does seem to be a possession-based tactic. Again, it's Xavi, it's Spain, it's Barcelona. Most dribbles made in Newcastle, I mean, even the goalkeepers. But tackles won, Tottenham and Newcastle, it's not really anything special. Best pass completion to keep that possession. You've got that. Most shots for Newcastle. It just really didn't do all that much. If we look at, the individual stats, Callum Wilson, the only one with 32 goals. I mean, fantastic job by Callum Wilson. Nobody else, though. Assists, nobody. Player of the match, Callum Wilson. Passing, you've got a couple people. Again, the passing type of tactic. Most dribbles made. You got them there. Again, no goalkeeper work. Defensive work, you've got some Son, Neto, and Maximin. But overall, key passes, I'm actually surprised. Key passes is not there. Anyone in Newcastle, but Trippier and Sarabia not up there for Wolves because Wolves just did so badly. But most shots not even there. So overall, this tactic, again, I don't say tactics are bad. I just say they're bad for certain teams, especially in this situation. And again, we are simming through the entire season. I'm not doing a single thing. But if you took control and did your own training, your own pieces of the tactics to kind of fit better with your players, you did your own shouts on the side, your own transfers, you could do a lot better than, especially Wolves and Tottenham, no question about it. And you could probably bring Newcastle up into the top 4. But this time, it just didn't work, sadly. But that is it for me, Sefian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.